Hey, it's Cami. Welcome to Smart Social Secrets, the AI Sparks edition. Hey everyone, so glad that you're here. I am going to be talking today about the huge announcement this week, which was the Gemini 1.5 um, announcement for their AI. And the bigger announcement obviously was OpenAI this week. OpenAI told us that they were releasing 4.0 for ChatGPT, which is a huge release as well. There's so much going on that I feel like that the OpenAI announcement kind of overshadowed the Google announcement, which was the next day. So Google had its I/O conference this week, and they rolled out all of the changes that are coming across their ecosystem for AI. And what I found very interesting about this is, of course, Google has been scrambling all year to catch up. There's been a lot of talk about internally inside of Google about how there's just a relentless drive to make sure that they get all of these things released. And I don't think that it disappointed at all. So I actually watched the whole thing on Tuesday, and I want to share with you what I learned. I did post about this a couple of like the day of this happening. So you can go back and look at my LinkedIn profile with this, and you can get to my LinkedIn profile if you're any of the other places we go at CamiChat, KAMICHAT.com. That is my, you can get all of my different links there. So what I'd like to do right now is just to go over each of these things with you and why I think they're important, especially for creators and communicators. I'm really going to put that lens on. I've decided that I'm going to start doing an AI Smart Sparks edition of this live stream at least once a month. I've got to figure out the rhythm for it yet. I know that I might do a newsletter about it, but everybody's doing a newsletter. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting this to you guys in a way that is really useful for you, that you can get your hands on it. So let me know in the comments if you think that you want to hear that kind of information, where I would keep you up with what's going on in AI, but for the communicator, like from our lens, from the lens of PR and marketing professionals, like how should we be thinking about this? What should we be doing? I'm doing a lot of speaking on that right now, and I just feel like that's kind of the area that I can really help with, because I'm looking at the way that we would use it, what our workflows are, what we're doing. I'm going to put on the comments here. So if you are out there, let me know in the comments if that is something you would like me to continue to do. Okay, without any further ado, I will jump right in to what we're going to do today. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to use the thing that I'm going to use the copy of my post, because it'll help me with my notes and to make sure I can show you everything I want to show you. Okay, so I've opened a couple of tabs. I'm going to show you a few things. But number one, obviously there's a hype cycle around AI right now, and things are changing so fast. But what I really believe is going to happen, and why I think that this particular announcement is so important, and I think it follows on the heels of another announcement that was a lot earlier, which was when Microsoft launched Copilot for all of its customers, and that was like late last year. And so Copilot is really important too, because here's the thing: when that AI sits on your desktop beside you and becomes a part of your daily workflow, that is going to change the way that you do your business. And a lot of big enterprise companies were not allowing AI behind the firewall, but Copilot got behind the firewall because many of these places already had Microsoft 365 installed. And so because of that, now Copilot is there. I know that I have good friends and family members that are employees at big corporations who wouldn't even have dreamed of touching an AI until it was behind the firewall right on their desktop. So that is why it's important for Google as well, because what's happened is that Gemini 1.5 is going to be disseminated throughout the entire, what I call, ecosystem. But really what I'm talking about is Drive and all those places. So the first one that I thought was really interesting was Google Photos. So I don't know how many of you use Google Photos, but I have Google Photos installed on my phone, and pretty much it uploads every single photo I ever take into Google Photos. I also know many people who even have an iPhone. I use an Android. I know I'm weird, but I use an Android. But many people, even with an iPhone, have this app loaded onto their phone because it is the easiest way to back up your photos into a database of places. Now, I love the way that right now Google Photos already organizes my photos, but here's the funny part. When you put Gemini 1.5 into Google Photos, you're going to be able to do amazing things. You're going to be able to get entire groups of photos in just one prompt. You can just ask it. I think that, well, this is what he showed. He showed his daughter and her swimming, and he said, show me all the times show me the progression of my daughter swimming. And it went all the way back from the beginning of when his daughter was swimming until now, and it gave a whole entire package of photos that meant that. But can you think about what that means for the communicator? What if you said, okay, I do social media breakfast on the second Friday of every month. What if I said, could you please take all of the photos from the second Friday of every month and put them into a folder for me, or into a grouping? Can you imagine how much time that's going to save? Or I can say on this date. Well, I could do that before in some ways. It just was a little bit more manual. This is going to absolutely take that off of my thing. Or I can say, hey, I want some pictures of a sunset for one of these things I'm doing. And I've taken a lot of pictures of sunsets. So I may say, could you please go out and grab me all of the pictures of sunsets and put them into a collection for me? They call them collections. Put them into a collection for me. Yes. And guess what? It will automatically pull all those together and put them into a collection. It is not here yet. This is going to happen in the summer. So I'm watching for this, with bated breath, because I use this tool a lot, and I believe that this is going to be big. Now, I believe that, because they had their IO conference, and not shockingly, OpenAI tried to one up them by having their announcement the day before. There's a little bit of a fight going on between all of these different entities. So what I'm seeing right now is a convergence where all of these tools are starting to put the AI inside of the tools you're already using, so that way people will learn. Because right now, you go into ChatGPT or a Claude or one of these, even Copilot or Gemini, and you open it up and it's like sort of a blank slate, right? You just go in there and you're like, well, I'm going to prompt something. I'm going to ask it a question, which is cool. But sometimes you're thinking, am I getting the optimum out of this? Am I getting what I need out of this? But what if it's all throughout what your workflow is? Then what, right? So that's what I've got. Oh, there you go. Hey, Susan, it's good to see you. So, miss you, girl. I'm having issues with this. Hold on a second. There we go. Thank you. That's awesome. So I'm glad you're loving the videos. And so that's what I'm thinking, is that this is going to be huge for us. So also, this is the blow your mind thing, and it may be too technical, for you to understand how big of a blow your mind thing this is. So I'm going to boil it down to something real simple. So Gemini 1.5 Pro is launching. It launched yesterday or Tuesday with a 1 million token context window. What that means, and the developers are going to get 2 million context window. This means you can add a huge amount of context, meaning documents and thoughts. Like you can take a 100-page paper, or I forget how many pages you can put in, but it's a lot. You can put in a lot of context for the AI so that it understands what you're asking it. So I could upload a research paper and then ask it to help me, based on what it finds in the research paper, help me to answer certain questions. You can query data. And I'm doing a lot of this kind of work with clients, by the way. Social listening is a huge unstructured data problem. Like when I mean unstructured, it's like the junk drawer. I use this in my presentations. I have a picture of my junk drawer. And what is amazing about this is that it can take all of this and put it into context for you. It can organize all of this massive amounts of data. And so we can learn so much through this as communicators. For example, you can take all of the information around a specific topic that's going on, like say politics. There's a lot of politics going on right now, and get deeper insights into what people actually think in huge numbers. Like how many times is this mentioned? Also, you could probably work with this and teach the AI with research papers how to spot deep fakes, how to spot things that are repetitive because they're bots, those kinds of things, teach it to understand that in huge data sets. Anyway, this 1 million window context, there's so many things you can do with it. Creativity is the limit. But the biggest thing I think is that you can take the stuff you've already done, upload it in there, and then have it work. By the way, you can go inside of this and make sure that you tweak it so that it doesn't use it to train. And Gemini promised actually from the stage that they're not going to use your data to train. So believe it or don't believe it, I don't know. Check it out for yourself. But they did say very clearly in their presentation that they would not use the data that you upload to train, which I think is important. So these developers, this are going to get a 2 million context window, which is even bigger, so they can build these tools that will be able to process so much information. As a kind of looking at a comparison, Claude, which I love because it had the biggest context window of all of them, is only 200K. So from 200K to a million. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to push OpenAI and Claude and all these others to open their windows too. So I believe that you're going to see a much bigger data window in all the tools. So this announcement is so important because it's going to push the other tools to also increase what they're going to do. Okay. The next thing was a really cool tool that I learned about like a while ago, but then kind of forgot about. But I am rethinking it quite a bit, especially if you put in Gemini into it as well. So what this is called Notebook LM, and I did open it up here for you. And they've added Gemini 1.5 Pro to the newest model of Gemini 1.5 Pro. And you can see here, they're letting us know everywhere we go. I just didn't shut the splash screen for you so you could see what they're doing, and they're sending you off to learn about it, right? So I'm not going to go crazy with that, but here's what's cool about this. So I was telling you, you could upload all this stuff into a prompt. Well, you could also create a notebook and then upload all of your information into that notebook. And then it can go from there. And so you can have notebooks, like say for each client with a bunch of like research information around them. And you can actually use this as your notebook that is a smart notebook with the AI built in. So you can ask the notebook questions about what you need to know about your client. So you know how we're always like looking for things and trying to find things. This is a great way to organize information. I was thinking about it from a training consulting. I do a lot of training and for enterprises, and also I do online training, as you know. And I have some courses, and I have a VIP called Smart Social Mastery group that I work with. So what could we do to make it much more accessible for them to grab that information and make sense of it for their own business? This might be a really great way to do that. So I'm going to be looking at that. But what's great about it is they load it up with a bunch of notebooks to start with. So it'll give you a little understanding of that. Cool. So Notebook LM, really, really cool tool, and something you might want to think about for putting into your workflow, especially if you're already using G Suite. Now, speaking of G Suite, I did look to see what it's going to cost for me to add Gemini to my G Suite, and it will cost me money to do so. I have 5 people on my G Suite, and they said that my monthly bill would increase by $120 a month to put it in G Suite. I can try it for 14 days, see how it goes. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that trigger yet. I will see how it goes, but I definitely feel like this is something that's going to be almost necessary as we go forward. And if I can actually help our team to like lower the amount of time they doing, I can maybe save the $120 just in billing hours probably. So you got to think about that as it goes. So I'm waiting for them to actually roll all this stuff out because I definitely am interested in this. I think that it for a personal account, it will probably have a certain free layer, just so you know. So, but yeah. AI and the developers, they've got a whole developer page. That's really cool. You can, if you're a developer, this is amazing because they will go through all of this for you. I am not a developer. I am a communicator. So there you are. All right. So that's really interesting to me too. So that's the slide out. And so how that will work if I do pay the $120 is that Gemini will appear as a little, it looks like a star kind of a thing. There's a Polaris is I think what they're called. And it sits up in the right corner, and you click on it and it will put Gemini Pro there. It will help you to sort your email. It would help you to summarize what's needed with a prompt. The email one almost like feels like it's worth the $120 a month. If I had somebody that was like, organizing my email all the time and putting it the way I needed to and unsubscribing from things for me and and putting them into folders. And for example, he gave the example during the big event. He said, what do I need to know from the school? Like, so you can actually have, a way to say, hey, how can what do I need to know my kids are doing this week? Or what are my tasks that were sent to me through email this week? And it will put them into a summary for you so that you can see what you're missing. This could be very exciting, a little scary too, but I do feel like that this could be like worth its weight in gold. The Google part, the Gmail part. Okay, the other thing they talked about, which I think is really, really cool, is called Project Astra. And Astra is a voice-activated AI assistant that can make sense of what your phone camera sees. I basically already have that in my Android phone. They've rolled this out to a lot of Android phones already. So like in my Android phone, it says, and I know you may or may not be able to see this. Hopefully you can. It says Google Lens. And Google Lens is how this has been. So they're kind of beefing this up. So with Google Lens, I click on that and I aim it at almost anything, and it will tell me what that thing is, where I can buy it. It defines things for me. Google Lens. Oh, the other thing about Google Lens, it's amazing. I found out at the last conference I went to. So I took a picture with my phone, uploaded into actually, you can upload it into Google Lens because it's not just taking pictures. You can also get them from your from your overall, what am I trying to call it? The gallery. So you can pull them up from a gallery, and I pull it up from a gallery, and then it would like highlight the words on a slide. And then I would copy paste the words right off of this into my other documents. So I can actually have it do OCR on any kind of slide or document, and like grab it and copy and paste it into something else. I'm using this all the time already and have been since actually social media marketing world is when I noticed it, and I started using it there. Just so you know, I should have told you guys then. I'm going to have to start telling you when I'm using these things. I'm trying. The other thing is, yes, I agree, Susan, 100%. She says that finding stuff in Drive alone may pay us back for that. Yes, because you're always looking for stuff. It's crazy. I agree. I'm thinking the same. Okay, so Imagine 3 is Google's new image generator. So they have not. You have to get on a waiting list for all of these FX items now. They have 4 FX items, and I'm going to click over to labs.google.com because that's where you get on the waiting list. That's where you find out about all these things. So this is labs.google.com. And what you can do is come here and read about Notebook LM. You can get there's also a music part of this. And let me just kind of show you what this looks like. They've done this really kind of fun page about all of the different overviews. But right now, the main thing for you is to go over there and get on the waiting list. I had to fill out a form. So for example, I said, try it now, Image FX. It says cluttered artist studio, light shining, sign in to get started. Okay, so you come here and then you'll say sign in with Google, which I did try to do that. Let me see. Maybe they already gave me access. Lord have mercy. That'd be cool. I think they did, guys. I signed up for this yesterday. So probably I don't want that right now. Not to this email anyway. I'll try it in my other email. Get it in my other email. So again, they now have the free version of something like DALL-E or Midjourney, which I use like a lot. So, it says join our waitlist. There it is. So this is how it goes. You get in there, you click on this, you fill this form out. That's what I did. But what's cool about this is you're going to be able to get on the wait list to use this as well. So I would do that if I were you. I definitely did. And apparently I still am on the wait list. So good. I just signed up yesterday, so that makes sense. AI overviews and search. You can try all these different things. So clicking through all these ideas, getting started with AI overview and search. So it says it's not available for my account right now. So some of these things might be available for like the free version versus G Suite. I'm showing you stuff right now in G Suite, and on the free version, which is just a normal Google account, some of these things may already be available, or they'll tell you when they're going to be available. They're rolling out over the next few months, though, so keep your eyes open, and I will too. I'll let you guys know. So there's also oh, the Dino game. I'm trying to find it right now, but there's a music one too. So here's one: Learning Your Way, turn academic papers into AI generated audio discussions. This was cool because you can upload your research papers into this and then have conversations with it. And it will actually read them back to you like a story. Like it has two different voices talking to each other, and you can interrupt the voices and ask it to do it a different way or ask a question, and those voices will answer you. It's mind blowing, a great way of learning. Really, really cool. I see a lot of really interesting stuff there. The food mood, that was interesting. You can get there to look at your personalized AI collaborator. The Notebook LM, I told you about that already, which I think is an amazing, amazing thing. I'm trying to find that, but there's also a music one where you can create beats and music. And there's a bunch of new artists that are well-known artists that are creating with that right now. And I think they're rolling out a bunch of music in the summer. So you'll start to hear AI generated music from this that's in collaboration with artists, which I love that they're doing that because the artists are using this as part of their creative process. And I don't see anybody else doing that. It's just like, come make these songs, but they're not celebrating the artist inside of the artistry of the art. Anyway, that was one of the things I really like that because I'm a musician myself, and that worries me because I have a son who's a musician and a songwriter. So these things, oh, here it is. Here it is, Music FX. Okay, so yeah, so Music FX is in here too. Got it. So dreamy, ethereal synth music. So it'll get this music going and you'll be able to create with the music. So again, a lot of these things you have to be on the wait list. Oh, okay, so here's the really important one too. It's video FX. So that's, music FX, video FX, and that is all about creating those. It's like the Soro, if you've seen Soro, which is like the video making kind of thing. This is video FX, which is going to inspire your inner storyteller. So you can go from text to video with this. And from what I can see, the videos are pretty good. Again, anything you see now might be like, it has its issues. It's not like Soro. It's not as beautiful as Soro, but this is the worst it's ever going to be, guys. Like within a year, I promise you this stuff is going to be almost impossible to notice the difference. I started with Midjourney about a year ago and I pay for it, which is a image making software. And it used to make, all these people with 15 fingers, and it was bad really in some ways, but now it's like not. So, and I feel like Dolly has really gotten amazing, much better in a very short amount of time. So that's Image FX, like that, like Midjourney, and then Music FX, which is about, creating music, and then Text FX, which is what they're calling supercharging your writing process with AI powered language tools. They didn't go into too much of depth. I mean, there's more with this, but I feel like there's a lot more coming with this that we're not sure. But if you come in here, you can watch them use the tool and see how it looks. So they're putting it all into an FX, grouping. I think, they're branding it. So you've got video, you've got image, you've got music, and you've got text. And that is where we're at with that. Okay, so let me move on. There's still more, but wait, there's more. Search. So search is going to be the biggest issue for us as communicators, because obviously we all use Google search. Like this is the bedrock of what we do. And they're adding the Gemini. They already added in the AI. You're getting the AI snippets at the top of all of the search pages at this point, and it's pushing all of the websites down. So it's like they're getting to the point where you don't have to leave the search page to get the information you want. And I've heard from a lot of people that overall traffic to websites is down. My friends who do SEO are like in a panic, really. Like, how do we get in the snippets? How do we stay relevant? How do we get people to visit our websites? And I do believe, and I'm just going to come to full screen to tell you this because I really feel this is the key to all of this. So I really feel like we're going to have to do a much better job creating community around our brands. Community around the brand is going to be everything, because a lot of these companies are like keeping all of this information for themselves. I mean, they want you to stay with their properties, not to send them on to other properties. So Google search, which is like how we find everything is like fundamentally shifting. So how do we like live through that? The way that we do our pages is going to change. You are going to want to write them for snippets, which is basically answering questions. So any kind of copy you have on your webpage, and this is what I'm learning is like, you just need to answer a lot of questions and kind of really long tail questions. It's not about the keywords anymore. It's about thoroughly answering a question in a way that is helpful. So how can you answer a question that somebody might have for you in a very helpful way on page? And in every single page that you put on the internet, in every single blog post, and every single thing that you do. And how can you grow an audience? And how can you grow people into your grouping? So that's going to be really, really critical for all of us. So again, if you want to get on my mailing list, I would love for you to do that. I do have a really great AI recipe and tech stack book that I've put together. And all you have to do is go over to Cami. I'm trying to find my banner so I can put it up for you and make it easy. But all you have to do is go to CamiChat.com. I'll put this right up here so you can see it. So you can see the banner. So all you have to do is go to CamiChat.com, and I have right at the top of it, you can sign up to get this AI toolkit, and I will then tag you as somebody who's interested in AI. And if I do roll forward with the newsletter, then you will get information around that as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. And the last thing I really want to cover with you today is virtual teammates. And that was the biggest, not the biggest, it was one of the interesting things they did on Tuesday. But the virtual teammate is going to be in the Google ecosystem, and they are going to be able to track data across channels in the Google ecosystem, find things and track progress on projects. So you're going to be able to have these teammates that help you with specific tasks across. So like the way I see using it as an agency owner, I would like create a teammate for each client, and then I could have that teammate help me with that client to move all of the information through all of the stages. So it's really more of a productivity tool, in my opinion, is having that teammate. So, again, it doesn't like get rid of anybody's job. So my administrative assistant is Devana, and I'm not getting rid of Devana for a Google teammate, but that Google teammate can help me and Devana to make everything much more streamlined and organized. So this I'm really excited about, and I will train my team how to use these teammates. We're gonna see how that goes. So again, like I said, that $120 a month seems smaller and smaller every time I think about it. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But that is what I found the most interesting about this Google announcement. I believe that it just shows the future of what we're across all ecosystems. So for Google, if you're using the Google ecosystem, this is going to change a lot over the next couple of months. And I want you to watch that, and I'll be watching it too. OpenAI is obviously throwing it's putting its shot across the bow as well with its new tool called ChatGPT 4.0, like zero, like O, like I mean lowercase o. And what's amazing about that is they're giving that away for free to you, to me. And what I think is interesting about that, I will say this before I leave, because OpenAI is really important, I think, for that particular reason. Inside of ChatGPT, which I have a paid copy of, is a thing called GPTs. I don't know if you guys have heard of the GPTs. Who has a paid version of ChatGPT? So you probably, if you do, know this. But inside of ChatGPT, there are these things called GPTs, and they're little programs that you can write yourself to do specific tasks. And I haven't put in a lot of energy into these yet, because before you had to be a member and paying member of ChatGPT, like a pro member, to get these GPTs. So if I built one, the only people who could use it are people that paid. And I really didn't want to do that. So right now I can build a GPT, and now you can use it because you can use them now for free. And these GPTs will change your world. So again, I was talking to you about in Google, I was talking to you about the virtual teammate. That's kind of what a GPT is. So these are these little agents or assistants. Again, we're not quite at the agent level where an AI can come in and make decisions and like go from this point to this point to this point. It's really like automations is what they're trying to do. They're trying to smooth out automation so you don't have to go and like, connect all these dots and do the APIs and all this jumbo that you may or may not understand. A lot of us have used, simple automations with different kinds of tools out there. So, but this is going to be like kind of a like you don't have to understand the code or you don't have to understand what's behind it to make it happen. So that's what's going on with Chat GPT is that they are opening up these GPTs, and I don't know that anybody's really been talking about that deeply. So I think that's what's the most important thing for communicators, for us, for creatives and communicators, because we can then teach one of these GPTs how to do something that we're repetitively doing, like writing about something or doing a certain task. And so the GPTs are really great. And that's free for you now. I'm sure there's a limit to it. I don't know because I have a paid version, but there's a limit. And so I would like you to know that that's why you're seeing Google come out with like a virtual teammate idea because they know they have to keep up. So all of them are going to do that. Claude also did something this week too. It gave a new version of its tool as well. Claude did, somebody asked me about that, but yeah, Claude did that. So Anthropic is also a player in this, but they don't have a whole ecosystem like say Microsoft or Google. So that's really who I see playing in this field of trying to get these companies to use it. So Anthropic, Claude, oh, here's what it did. It rolled out in the EU and the European Union last week as well. So they are moving against each other, guys. This is not going to change. It's going to be baked into everything that we do. It already is in all of your tools. We need to think about how we're going to use this and also how we're going to protect ourselves. So I was really glad to hear that Google says they are not going to use our data in their training. So that's really important, especially when you're working with clients and client information. So yeah, so that's it. Now that's really it. If you guys have any questions or thoughts, I would love to hear them. If I'm not seeing your, I don't think I see any kind of comments from Instagram and other places, but I will go there and try to get that from you guys. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to quit for the day, but that is what I wanted to bring to you is just that all of these changes are happening and they're happening really quickly. And I want to be helpful. I want us to help the communicators. I want to help us to stay on top of it. And that is one of the things that I want to bring to you. And so I'm going to be doing this probably about once a month to give you the updates for that month. I don't want to do it every week. I have other things I want to talk about on the strategy and especially about the community building, because I do feel like the connection that you have with your community is it's so critical in this AI age. Like, how will you know if something, how will people know if you're not the deep fake if they don't know who you are to begin with? So that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the intersection between human-centric community building and cutting edge technology. That's what interests me right now. That's what I want to bring to you. Let me know if that thumbs up, or let me know if that's the thing that you're interested in too. I will talk to you later. Definitely leave any questions you have. I will answer them as best as I can, and have an amazing day.